Good morning, and welcome to another sitting at the essay desk. This is episode 52, and today we sit with a topic about power, character, and the curious gap between how good something looks and how good it actually is. I have chosen this one deliberately. Governance, ethics, and institutional character have shown up again and again in recent years, and the examiner clearly enjoys testing whether you can see past a headline number to the habit underneath it. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because by the end, you will know exactly how to open, build, and close an essay like this one. Here is today's topic. In the bare, aphoristic voice the examiner now prefers. The scoreboard turns before the game underneath it has changed. Notice, it carries no quotation marks and no attribution, exactly like the borrowed lines UPSC has been setting. This belongs to the theme family of power, character, truth, ethics, and strategy. A family that has appeared in some form in 2022, 2024, and 2025, and its heat is rising. If you are revising one governance theme this month, let it be this one. Let us decode this properly, because a topic decoded well is half written. The scoreboard is any measure of reputation, a rank, an index, a headline, anything the world uses to judge you from outside. The game is the daily unglamorous practice underneath, the habits, the exemptions, the small compromises that actually decide character. The tension is this: a scoreboard can move upward while the game underneath has barely changed. And that gap, if ignored, becomes the next crisis. This applies to a person's character exactly as much as it applies to a nation's institutions. From that tension, fix a single thesis and never let go of it. Something like this: a nation's or a person's true character is tested not by how fast its scoreboard improves, but by whether its daily habits of honesty and accountability are strong enough to keep producing that improvement on their own. Write that sentence down before you write a single paragraph of the essay. Every dimension you build afterward should feel like it is answering a question that sentence raises, never a detour from it. Now the body. And this is where most scripts lose the examiner. So build it as one moving argument, not a list. Start political and institutional. What indices and rankings actually measure? Move to the ethical and psychological. Why individuals and officials normalize small compromises long before any scandal breaks. Then take the economic dimension. What the gap between perception and practice costs an economy in trust and investment. Follow it with a historical anchor, showing this tension is ancient. Then widen to the global stage and close the body on the technological dimension, where digital governance is quietly closing some of that gap. 6 movements, 1 argument, each answering the question the last one raised. Anchors are what separate a vivid essay from a vague one, so use them as evidence, not decoration. Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index 2025 placed India 91st of 182 countries, an improvement of 5 places, but still below the global average score. Use that number, then interpret it immediately. Do not just drop it and move on. Set beside it the World Justice Project's Rule of Law Index 2025, where India stood 86th of 143 nations, with the civil justice factor lagging even further behind at 114th. The contrast between a rising corruption rank and a lagging justice rank is your entire argument in two numbers. For a historical anchor, recall the old warning from Kautilya's Arthashastra that a government servant handling the treasury is as likely to taste a little of it as a fish swimming in water is to taste that water. Meaning, vigilance, not sentiment, is what keeps power honest. That line lets you argue the tension is ancient, not new. Now, the craft that actually lifts marks the introduction and the conclusion. Open on the paradox itself. State the improved rank, then immediately set the lagging rule of law figure beside it, and let the reader feel the contradiction before you name your thesis in the very next line. Never open with a definition, and never announce that you're about to define anything. In the body, be fair to the counter view. Someone will argue that rankings do capture real reform, that India's climb in ease of doing business and its recent structural reform ranking show genuine change, not mere image management. Concede that honestly, then show why a rank can still run ahead of daily practice on the ground. Close by resolving the tension, not summarizing it. Say plainly that the next reform India needs is not a better scoreboard, but a harder habit. Transparent asset recovery, faster courts, and technology that removes discretion before it can be misused. End on that forward line. And if you opened on the paradox, circle back to it in your very last sentence. Here is one opening line you could adapt in your own words. A nation can climb 5 places on a corruption index in a single year, and still watch its courts take a decade to punish the corrupt. And it is in that gap that the true character of a republic is written. And here is a closing line to match it. Until the habit inside the institution moves as fast as the number outside it, the republic will keep winning a better scoreboard while still playing the same old game. Use these as a starting rhythm, then write the exact words in your own voice on the day. Let us recap the whole approach in 5 moves. Decode the topic until you can state its tension in one line. Fix a single thesis and let every paragraph serve it. Build your dimensions in an order that gives the essay momentum, not a checklist. Anchor each claim with a real, sourced fact or example, and always interpret it rather than leaving it to sit there alone. And finally, close by resolving the tension you opened with, leaving the reader with a vision, not a summary. Decode, thesis, dimensions, anchors, and a close that lingers. That is the whole craft. That is our sitting for today. Keep at it, because the essay paper rewards exactly the kind of patient, quiet rewriting that never feels dramatic on the day you do it, but adds up by the time you sit that hall in 3 hours flat. If you would like the complete brief, 2 full model essays with an examiner's margin commentary written straight onto the page, drop your email in the comments below or write to team@upscdesk.com. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same desk. Keep writing.